Let's step into the serene world of Japan's Shinto shrines. Now, you probably know them as places of incredible history and peace, but if you look a little closer and listen a little more carefully, you'll find there's a whole other world here, a secret life, one that's filled with the constant flutter of wings and beautiful birdsong.
You know that feeling when you walk through a torii gate? The whole atmosphere just shifts. It feels calm, ancient, and deeply peaceful. But if you just stop for a second and listen, you'll realize it's also incredibly alive. These sacred spaces are actually bustling hubs for local wildlife, especially birds, which kind of makes you wonder, right?
I mean, why do so many wild birds choose to gather in these places that were built for people and for gods? Well, it's definitely not just a coincidence. There's this beautiful sweet spot where ecology and spirituality meet. So let's dive in and figure out why.
All right, so the first piece of the puzzle is the environment itself. To a bird, a shrine isn't just some old building. It's a complete, self-contained little world that has everything it needs to survive. And this is especially true when it's surrounded by, the concrete and steel of a modern city. This right here, this is basically a bird's dream real estate listing. Those ancient, towering trees, think of them as high-rise apartments, full of safe nooks for nests way up high, far away from any predators. The grounds below are like an all-you-can-eat buffet of nuts, berries, and insects. And because these are places of respect, they're quiet, which offers a real refuge. It's this stable, protected environment that people have been taking care of for centuries. So what this all boils down to is that in so many of our cities, shrines act as a vital green oasis. They're these essential little pockets of preserved nature that are just crucial for wildlife to survive in a landscape that can otherwise be pretty tough for them.
Okay, so we've got shelter and food covered. But obviously, every living thing needs water. In a busy city, where do the birds find a reliable source to drink and to bathe? Well, the answer is actually hiding in plain sight, and it's woven right into the shrine's most important rituals. And this is where you see this amazing, kind of accidental harmony. The chosia, that's the purification fountain, it's where people visiting the shrine cleanse their hands and mouth before they go to pray. But for the birds, this constantly flowing basin of fresh water is a total lifeline. It's the perfect spot to get a drink and take a bath. So a sacred human ritual also becomes a critical resource for animals. How cool is that?
So we know why they come. But who exactly are these little feathered residents? From the common and familiar to the colorful and quick, shrines are home to a surprisingly diverse group of birds. Let's take a look at who you might spot on your next visit. So you are almost guaranteed to see the familiar sparrow, that little brown bird that feels right at home near people, finding seeds and insects. Make sure you listen for the beautiful, almost robotic song of the starling. You might see them gathering in huge, chattering flocks in the trees around dusk. And definitely keep an eye out for the super quick, energetic little great tit, with its little black head and yellow belly as it just zips from one branch to another. But the community is even bigger than that. Look for the flash of vibrant green from the tiny Japanese white-eye. And of course, you'll often find pigeons, who have a very long history of hanging out with people in these spaces. And this is really important. During the spring and fall, these green oases become critical pit stops for migratory birds on their long, exhausting journeys. But the reason these places are so well protected, so preserved, well, it goes way deeper than just ecology. The connection between birds and shrines is deeply, deeply rooted in Japanese culture and in Shinto belief itself. It's not just about giving them a habitat, it's about a shared spiritual meaning. You see, in the Shinto worldview, the lines between our world and the spirit world are, well, they're pretty thin. And animals, especially birds that can travel between the earth and the heavens, have long been seen as messengers of the kami, or the gods. So their presence isn't just a natural thing, it can actually be a divine sign. And the most powerful example of this is the Yatagarasu, the mythical three-legged crow. Legend says this divine bird was sent down from the heavens to guide Japan's very first emperor, Jimmu, through these treacherous mountains. It's this profound symbol of divine guidance, and it just goes to show how deeply birds are woven into the spiritual fabric of the entire nation. So when you understand this deep connection, both the ecological side and the spiritual side, you realize we have a role to play in preserving it. We are guests in their home. So how can we enjoy this incredible relationship in a respectful way?
It's actually really simple. First, just be quiet. The goal is to observe them, not to intrude. Any sudden movements or loud noises are just going to scare them away. Always keep a respectful distance, especially if you think there might be a nest nearby. And finally, please, Resist the urge to share your snacks. Human food like bread can be really unhealthy for birds. The best thing you can do for them is to just let them find the natural food that the shrine already provides.
So now you have this whole new way of seeing these sacred spaces. The next time you visit your local shrine, or even just a park, take a minute. Just stop, look around, and listen. What do you see? What kind of life is happening right there in your own backyard? When you get right down to it, Shinto shrines are this powerful reminder that the human world and the natural world, they aren't separate things. They're places where history, spirituality, and ecology all come together, proving that with a little bit of respect and care, we can create spaces where both people and nature can find some peace.